Hey, Coach Val, how's it going?
What's up, Dr. Tiff? How are you?
Doing good, doing great. How are you this fine Tuesday evening?
I am amazing. We just got back from a concert, a
Oh,
concert
very
band,
good.
symphonic band concert. So they were really good.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight for our episode. We have a really great topic. Most weeks we get on here, we talk about trending topics in education, we talk about news articles, things that are impacting our kids in education. We talk about all types of things that are outward facing, right? But tonight we get to talk about Coach Val because she has an amazing girl empowerment event coming up on March 1st. It's a teen girl empowerment event. It's going to be in her hometown and it's going to be amazing. So, this episode is all about Coach Val. I want you all to share this right now with a friend. Go ahead, click the share button, put something in the comments. I want you to just pour on her, give her some love, because sometimes it can be really hard to shine the spotlight on yourself. It's really easy to highlight others, but it can be challenging to highlight yourself. But I'm going to hold up the mega flashlight tonight and I am going to help you highlight yourself because it's a really great event. So, first of all, as I said, it's the Teen Girl Empowerment event. It's going to be happening on March 1st, live in person down in South Georgia. So tell us a little bit about the location.
So where I live right now is Tifton, Georgia, South Georgia. Like she said, we're about an hour from the Florida line. So shout out to all my VSU alumni. That's where we went to college. We are not far from there, about 45 minutes north up 75. And it's not huge. The interstate runs through it. We're not super big, but there's one high school, two middle schools, and a few elementary schools, if you will. Very nice place to be, a very small town, hometown feel type of a place.
I love it. So back to a familiar area. I like that. So teen girls, I know this age group is a passion of yours. I've told you many times it takes a special soul to be able to feel a direct connection with teenagers. Some might say teen girls are more challenging than teen boys, vice versa, whatever the case. So knowing your passion in that, what sparked you to want to create this type of event?
Well, I know from personal experience being a teen, like I could just, when I reflect on those years in my life, I think about like how I presented on the outside. I was textbook. I mean, straight A's, athletic, did what I was told to do, like within reason. I was still a teenager, but didn't get in any trouble, like never been to ISS, just check boxes, right? On the
Right.
outside. And that's how people knew me. But what they didn't know was like all the emotional stuff that was going on the inside. So I
Mm,
just felt like I never felt safe enough to talk about it. I never felt safe enough to open up to an adult and have the adult like take me seriously.
right.
Have an adult validate that my feelings are real and then like try to help me or push me forward or help me get through it. So I did what most teenagers do, like you lean on your friends
Hmm.
and for some of them you lean on your boyfriend, your boo thing, your bae, right? Who, I mean, these people don't know no more than you do. So thinking about all of that as I grew and began to develop and mature, I realized like it took me a long time to get to where I am right now. And if someone had have been there for me in that time, then that process may not have taken so long. I may have been able to deal with some of my experiences, my negative experiences, a little bit better. I may have been able to be steered in different directions versus the ones that I decided to take. So I just knew that that was part of my purpose, and that's what I needed to provide for other girls.
I love it. So before we get into the topics that you're going to discuss at your event, I want you to tell the people, why should the girls come? Why should a mom, an aunt, a cousin bring the girls to the event on March 1st?
Okay. So if you have followed us, if you know me at all, I am like the epitome of an educator. Like it oozes out of my being, right? And so being an educator and also being the person who is passionate about this, I've seen so many different girls, all types. So the type I just described about me. Remember, I was doggone near perfect on the outside, crumbling on the inside. Seeking somebody, didn't know how to do that. So I kept it to myself. I'm looking for that girl. I'm looking for the girl who usually sits in the corner, who seems to be not very social. And nobody can seem to really like get to her. I'm looking for that girl. I'm looking for the athletes and the cheerleaders who seem to have it all together. But as we know, kids who seem to have it all together are still making decisions that we don't understand. To be honest, they're committing suicide. To be honest, they're committing homicides. To be honest, they are looking to their boyfriends and girlfriends for satisfaction and love and doing it in the wrong way. So, parents, if you have a teen, aunties, if you have a niece, grandparents, if you have a granddaughter, cousins, if you have a cousin, that label is enough for you to know they need to be in this space.
Yes, yes. So I'm going to drop the link right now. Again, the event is in Tifton. So it is a local event. If you are within a car ride away, send this link to the teen Bible study group at your church. Share it with teachers in your school, share it with parents in your community, get you a passenger van, and just make the short trip down to Tifton. For this event, it's free. I know you've already told me some of the really fun, special things that you're going to have for the girls there. My favorite is the candy bar because I know I love candy. So some of the fun things is not just going to be sit and listen, because I think teenagers, they get a lot of that. They get a lot of just sit and just listen to this adult yap at you about why you're not doing things the right way, what you need to change about your life, how you're going to end up if you don't change anything. All those things they have heard many, many times. And I know you've structured this event in a way that it's not that. It's engaging. It's very intimate. It's in a small group. And so then tell us a little bit more about what you're going to be talking to the teens about.
Yeah, so it's very hard to the event is only 2 hours. And I know for some people they're like only 2 hours. Once you get in there, you will understand. There is so much that I feel burdened and called to address with the girls. And so honestly, we're going to start with a format. And if you know anything about the way I teach, we flow the way that the atmosphere leads us to flow, right? So here, some of the topics that I want us to hit on are like the girls' dreams and their hopes and their visions for themselves. What do they think is possible for them? I want to talk about how whatever they need to achieve that, it's already inside of them. You got in you what you need to be who you were created to be. So we have experiences. Oh, sorry. You like
it? I love that. I love that so much because I have family members who teach in the middle school setting, and I have friends that teach at the high school setting. And just that first topic that you just discussed hits so many of the things that my friends and family members talk about when it comes to teenage girls, the things that they struggle with, not being able to believe in themselves, seeing a vision for themselves, seeing beyond how maybe their friends identify them. And so that alone could be the entire 2-hour topic right there. But I know you have so much more for them too.
I mean, honestly, every single one of these notes could be its own workshop, half day workshop even. And yeah, like you said, when I was thinking about this and I thought about, you know, what were my hopes and dreams while I was a teenager, I had a lot of what we call limiting beliefs. I had a lot of thoughts and beliefs that told me that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't skilled enough. I was smart, but I was only smart in certain areas. So if it wasn't in these areas, then I'm not smart enough to do what it takes. A lot of the things that I was good at, like I was very crafty. Surprise,
Mhm.
surprise. If you know me now, that's not a surprise, but I was very crafty when I was younger. However, when I would um, do crafty things and like show people, like the response I got back from that was like, oh, that's cute, but what work are you going to do? Like, what career are you going to have? You can't make money in that. And
Mhm.
actually, yes, you can. So I want girls to understand that if they have imagined it in their minds at some point in time, then you can also achieve that thing. The only thing in the way is your mindset, what you believe about you, and knowing the steps and taking the steps to get there.
I love that. That sets up so many teenagers for so much success, just those life skills right there. What else are you going to talk about for this event? We already said you could have a whole 2-hour workshop and engagement activity for just that, but what else are you going to share with the girls?
So I want them to know that what you want to achieve, you already have inside of you to achieve it. And so what that means is I recently did a talk at my alma mater high school in Dodge County, Georgia.
Okay.
And that message I gave them was about being a seed and how when you look at a seed, first of all, it's so small and so like seemingly insignificant compared to what it's going to grow up to be, this huge tree or this beautiful flowering plant. But everything that that seed needs to be successful, to grow into that thing, it has packed inside of it. It just needs to be activated. And so I
Mhm.
want the girls to understand that you have to be in the right environment to activate the potential inside of you. It's already there.
Yeah.
It's already there.
And then that just hits so deeply because with this age of social media that we're in, I can just imagine, the pressure of teen girls to fit in, to fit a stereotype, to get on board with the latest trend on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. And you can start to lose your identity because you're trying to identify with all these external things, the way that you see other people portraying themselves on social media, which we already know is a pit anyway, because most times what you see online is not the real deal. So I think that's very important. I like the visual that you gave to, like a seed that goes in the ground. It has everything that it needs inside of it, but it needs that nurturing environment. And helping teenage girls figure out who those real friends are. Who are those friends that are going to look out for you, that are going to lift you up, that are going to support you, encourage you, not, demean you or talk behind your back or not celebrate you when you do something great or challenge you to do something that's hard as well. I know a lot of parents and teachers struggle with that because you can see potential in kids and you just want to tell them sometimes, like, you have, like you just said, you have everything inside of you to make your dreams come true, but you are wasting them away in this group that you call your friends. And you know, that friend circle in middle school years, high school years, that seems like your world, right? Those are
Absolutely.
people you go to for advice, to cry on their shoulder, to tell secrets to, everything. So that's super important. I love that one. I know you're gonna talk about a little bit more. You want to share some more topics?
Yeah, sure. In these minimal 2 hours, I love that we're doing this, just because this is something that I feel like doesn't happen a lot, especially in this area. And so sometimes when I'm trying to explain to people, like, well, what is this teen empowerment thing that you're talking about? Like, there's so much. I think the biggest thing I want people to understand is we know that our teens need stuff like this. And
Mhm.
so whenever there's an opportunity, especially because it's free,
Right.
then just go. If it's not what you wanted it to be, okay, now you know, and then you look for something else. I want the kids, I want the girls to understand that what happens to them does not define them, but it's a lesson to learn. So experience is a teacher for us. And sometimes when we are in our lessons, just like school, sometimes we have a great time, especially if you have a great teacher who makes it fun for you. And
Right.
then there's sometimes that it's not as enjoyable, or you experience failure, you experience like something bad. And what do you do in those moments? Then what do you do after those moments? So I want the girls to think about some things that may not have been the best, maybe a decision they made that wasn't the best, and look at it from a different frame of reference. Okay,
Mhm.
it's happened. What can I learn from what has happened, so that as I keep moving forward, I'm moving forward. I don't stay stuck.
Yeah, I think that's huge. We've heard tons of stories. I'm sure you have, watching her stories of girls making really poor decisions with letting themselves be recorded doing certain things, acting outside of themselves and putting it out there for the world to see. And it's you can't get that back. Once it's out there, it's out there. You can delete it from your account, you can delete it from your phone. You think you've scrubbed your social media, but somebody captured that on their own device, right? And so teaching them how to move on, move past something like that, learning from it, getting the lesson and not letting it define who they are, but making that choice to pivot as well. Like, I put this out there, this has happened. I don't want to be that person. So now I need to pivot and then see what I can learn so that I don't make that same mistake again. Because you have a lot of teen girls who are looking to just please other people. You know, we have people pleasers. And so they want to do things that they think other people want them to do. And then that gets them into this trap of a cycle of doing things that aren't really aligned with who they are. I know I can think back to girls in high school who, were the sweetest, almost meek, mild tempered. And then you hear this little rumor, you're like, what? So and so? No way. And
Mhm.
it turns out to be true, but they've stepped into that situation trying to prove to that they're being something that they're truly not. And then it's really hard to bounce back from that. So I think that's a really good um, topic to review with them as well. I know you have a few more topics that you're going to talk about with the girls too.
Yes. So, like, right along with that, those rumors that happen, and the backlash from those things, a lot of times, and what's been going on recently here, and I'm sure in a lot of places, is so the girls are fighting each other. And like we have this sense of, oh, you said something about me, so now we got to scrap. Now, we have to go at it with each other. Or, oh, you like the boy that I like. Like, I want y'all to catch this. It's not even that's my boyfriend. I mean, that's going on too. We know that. But, oh, you like the boy I like. So I'm mad with you. And I'm going to get my gang of friends to be mad at you too. And then, oh, your gang mad at me, well, my gang's gonna be mad at y'all, and then we're just gonna end up going at it. Like, I want the girls to know that that's the wrong fight. That's the wrong fight. And I want them to understand what the right fight is. And the only way to understand what the right fight is to have the right priority. Like, to decide what is worth fighting for and make sure that's a priority that's going to move you forward and not keep you back or make you go backwards.
Yeah, I love that. So if anybody watching has talked to a student about this topic, has talked to a family member, a teen girl family member about this topic, then I think Coach Val's event is definitely worth registering for, because sometimes our kids need to hear the same thing we might be saying to them from somebody else. They need to be in an environment with other peers that are experiencing the same things, and that one child has a light bulb moment, like a aha, oh yeah, maybe I don't need to hang around this group anymore. And then that it spreads. And so when you can get girls together in an event like this to hear from an outside source, to talk about some of the things you yourself have been talking to your family member or your student about, it can really resonate in a way that your words to them never could have. So if you're just joining us, I put the link for Val's event in the comment section. It's going to be Saturday, March 1st from 12 to 2 at the downtown Tifton Library in Tifton, Georgia. Pack up the car, bring the kids. It's a free event. It's just so many fun things planned. And tell us more about what you're going to be talking about with these girls.
So one of the biggest things besides dreaming again is knowing yourself. So it's identity. And one of my favorite sections about this is note to self, be yourself. And what that means is exactly what Tiffany was saying or describing. We have girls who are trying to just be a part of the group. They're just saying yes or whatever they need to say just to get along. They put on what I call a mask, which is I'm going to, because I did it when I was a teen. I put on the mask, and this is how I'm going to present myself to any and everybody. Or I might have different masks depending on who's in front of me, depending on who my audience is. And that's how I'm going to live my life, as this puppet in front of people. And then behind closed doors, I'm going to be somebody completely different. That causes so much internal conflict. No wonder why we have girls suffering from anxiety and deep depression and suicidal thoughts, because all of that is creating like a big storm on the inside, and then they feel like they have no outlet to let that out.
Yeah. And I've seen students act differently depending on what group they were around. So when they're with one group, they're acting like very on top of things. They engaged. Another group, they're very disengaged, acting like they don't care about anything. Another group that they're with, they're all rowdy. And, you're thinking like, is this the same kid from earlier today? Because now they're acting totally different. So I think that is a big point to talk about. I think that'll really resonate as well. I know you like to talk about the multi-dimensional layers that make us up as people. How are you going to incorporate that into your talk with the girls?
So when I talk about the mask that we put on, I want to make a distinction. That is different from the different facets, the different dimensions that we already come into this world with. So, for example, the core of who I am is who I am, no matter what role I'm feeling. But I do have different roles in life. So I'm a mother. And so that requires certain things from me, certain skill sets. I'm a wife. So that requires some different things than what being a mom requires. So I'm not saying that being different in your different roles in life is something bad. What I am saying is, if you are not true to yourself, when you express yourself in those different roles, that's when there's an underlying problem that needs to be addressed. That's when you're confused, or you just haven't settled on it yet. Some girls haven't had the opportunity just to verbalize and voice and actually think about, like, who do I want to be? Like, who do I want people to know me as in this world? And I've asked this question to teens plenty of times, including my own. I'm like, when someone says your name, or when somebody thinks about you, what do they want you to think? So what characteristics are going to come to mind when they think about, let's say the kid's name is Chloe? Okay. What characteristics are they going to think about when they think of you? What values do they know to attach to you based on how you present yourself to the world?
Right. I think that's so important. What is your name being spoken in rooms where you're not present? How does that resonate with the people who are there, who heard your name? Are their thoughts aligned with these positive characteristics, or are their thoughts aligned with not so positive characteristics? And what have you done, taking that reflective moment to think about what you have, the choices that you've made, the actions you've taken that have created this view of you in the minds of others? I know you like to say learning your best self is done by having fun. What do you mean by that?
At some point, like, I know, talking with you, Dr. Tiff, me and you, we've gotten to this point where, like, whatever we're doing in life, like, we're going to have the best time that we can possibly have. Like, and what that requires is being authentically you. And so I want girls to actually think about, like, forget about what this group of people says is fun or you should be doing. What do you actually like? Like, what puts a smile on your face when you're involved with it or when you're doing it? Because that's you. And the more you do that thing, the more relaxed you become, the more you start understanding about yourself, especially like how you feel. I think a lot of girls are in situations where they're numb to a lot of feelings, or they've suppressed them so much that they can't even recognize it anymore. So I want girls to understand, like, go explore. Go try something, and don't be afraid to try it. If you don't like it, great, go try something else. But be open to having fun with it, because you just might like it.
I love that. I love it. Make sure that you all are sharing this event. You might think, oh, so-and-so's not going to drive to Tifton. Just share it. Let them make the decision. Because I think the topics that Val has talked about tonight that she's going to share with the teen girls are going to really hit in a different way. Like I said, she has some really fun things. It's not just come sit and listen. It is about engaging with others. She's got some really fun skits planned in there for the girls. It's going to be a good 2 hours. And she's packing a lot in these 2 hours too. What I see for this is just the beginning. And this is going to morph itself into something major that is hitting the road. So come get in on the ground level, because when it gets to that point, it ain't going to be free. So come get in on the ground level. 2 hours, bring your teen girl, and be ready to have some really good follow-up discussions with them afterwards to really have them think about what really weighed on them heavily. What is maybe one thing they can change in their day-to-day interactions at school, their friend group. It's hard to shift friends, hard to break up with friends. It's hard to break up with a boyfriend, but your friend group is like your heart and soul. And so to ask girls to shift that, it's really going to take them finding out who they are, remembering what their vision is for themselves, and then learning how to be themselves through experiencing some fun too. And those things will shift the friend group for them, because they'll say, okay, what I'm seeing for my life, what I want for myself, that's not aligning with these girls I'm hanging out with. I got to find some new friends, or I just got to be me and just roll solo. Like it comes to that. So make sure you share this. I see in the comments the love to bring some teens from Columbus. We'll see if I can get some parents to sign up. So that would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
Yes. So the event is going to be on Saturday, March 1st from 12 to 2 p.m. at the downtown Tifton Library in Tifton, Georgia. Be sure to share this. The link to register is in the comments. I'll post it again. I have it here on the screen. But make sure that you share it, because it really is going to be a powerful event and we don't want you to miss it. And Coach Val, if you've ever heard her speak, you already know that it's the real deal.
Absolutely. If nothing else, I want you to understand my passion for this and my calling for this. And I also follow the leading of the Lord. So when I know I am walking in what he has called me to walk in, like, watch out. Transformation is going to happen. Things are going to shift, and you want your daughter to be in that place.
Right. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight for our Tuesday Talks this week. And we will be back next week with another episode. See ya.
Bye.